Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Valentine Lister, and this is the weekly astrology and tarot forecast for Sunday, October 10th through Saturday, October 16th. And so we're going to get into the forecast for the week. And before I do that, I just wanted to make a quick announcement about a discount that you can get with me for booking your first reading. So right now I'm offering $20 off your first reading with me. You can use the discount code 20 bucks to get that discount. And to book a reading, you can go to my website, valentinelister.com, and that offer is valid until December 31st, 2021. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. And if you want to just get the link to go there and get the info, I put the info also in the description box below underneath the timestamps. All right, so the first transit that we're going to get into for the week is a delicious one. All right, it's Venus conjunct the South Node. Now, this is going to be a mixed bag. So I think it's going to be a really fun escape for us. So Venus in Sagittarius is like, let's go out, let's have fun, let's just do it without thinking or planning. So, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, opposite of Mercury. Mercury's planning every detail. Jupiter's just like, I feel it. I want to do it. I just want to go outside and experience life and the beauty of life. But Venus with the South Node, though, okay? So the South Node is a point on the chart that creates an illusion. It clouds our vision, so it makes us want to escape. So it's not in the greatest way. So it's considered a malefic planet, even though it's not a planet, it's a point where the sun and the moon cross. In traditional and Hellenistic and sidereal astrology, they're like, this is not the greatest influence because it distorts our perception of reality. And so the North Node makes us hungry to have material gain, to be really successful in the world. And the South Node, which we're talking about now, makes us want to escape from the world. And we can think it's super spiritual or super holy or a super good thing. Escaping from the world, it feels really good, but it's something that is life-taking. Malefic means life-taking, cutting away life. And so it's escaping in a way that's not necessarily good for us, similar to Neptune. So the other thing there is we have the moon co-present in Sagittarius, right, with that Venus conjunct the South Node, and it's it's probably going to make us feel overly optimistic. And the moon itself was also traditionally looked at as a planet that blurs boundaries when it's co-present with planets, and it also amplifies that planet's energy. So it amplifies that planet in our environment and the seeing it around us and seeing its influence on us. Plus, this aspect of Venus conjunct the South Node also makes a whole sign square to Neptune. So we know Neptune also creates delusions. So it's kind of this psychedelic altered perception. Plus, we still have Mars and Mercury combust under the sun, which means that our actions and thinking things through, there are hidden things that we don't see about what we're doing. So we have to be wary. So basically, we can't really see things clearly on Sunday. And it has the potential for danger, especially because the day before, we have this moment of clarity with that Mercury Mars cazimi. We may feel really clear. But then as that conjunction separates on Sunday, our vision is going to be clouded, but we may not realize it. We may have this realization thinking we're going to go with it. Sagittarius, I'm just going to go for it, go with it. So Venus on the South Node may be extra impulsive because it's in Sagittarius. So you may get a call from someone or a message or opportunity to go out and do something fun. Or you may want to do something fun staying in and just being close to the people near you, because the South Node is making us want to escape in some way. So you may not want to hang out with just anybody. You may want to be in surroundings that are familiar or close to you. And so it probably will be something that's like extra spontaneous. You won't think it through, and it does have some potential for danger. Like, this is not the day to like alter your senses, take drugs or alcohol. Even though you might have the pull to. And Sagittarius itself was the centaur, and the centaurs were known as like these body, like drinking, like womanizing, get into fist fights, like bar type people. So that might be the influence that you have, but it could be other things like that you think are fun that you want to escape. So you want to be careful of pleasurable things overdo, or you want to be just aware, right? Overdoing things like with alcohol, drugs, or it could be food, could be hooking up with people, sex, like wild, like and sex in a wild and reckless like type way. But even could be like things that we think of as like spiritual, like meditation or prayer, or working out or taking a trip, like a new experience like that, where we use that as an escape, but we're thinking it's like super spiritual. But it's basically this energy of us wanting to escape from real life, even though like we know that we're going to have to deal with real life later. We're not, going to want to deal with real life, real like serious things. So the basic thing is just remembering that this is an intoxicating influence and that our senses are altered, and just being aware of that. So not making any permanent decisions about anything, just being aware of what's going on. And just like you would go out for a night of drinking and you'd be aware that your senses are altered, and you get a designated driver, or you'd be with friends that you really trust and are really close to watch out for you. Same thing with this transit, just going into that Sunday. And remember that being in Mercury retrograde, we're just going to be in this energy of reflection versus doing and making major decisions. It's a time to reflect and be aware, not to like have permanent things. Okay, so I pulled a card for this transit just to get some clarity, and we have the High Priestess, the moon, and she's changing all the time. She's mysterious. She tends to blur boundaries, and we can't see it clearly a lot of times with the moon. We really there's an aspect with the moon, like I mentioned before, where we have illusion and we can't see things clearly and we can't see the truth, and we're just experiencing like the world and not really seeing beyond past it, right? And she does have like this holy presence. So I'm going to look at this card, see what else I'm getting for her in the transit for that day. Yeah, and it's this sense of like, there is a truth there in our experiences. So we should really be valuing like our experiences and having them. And we may have this influence of feeling on top of the world, feeling super self-indulgent, like this globe and this pomegranate is sticking out. So I feel like we're going to have this influence of like feeling like really sensual, feeling like we know what the world is all about, but feeling misled in a way, like we are being led into this like pleasurable delusion of thinking we know the truth, with this like Venus and South Node, but like it's more complicated than that. Like the reality and the truth of the situation that we're dealing with on Sunday is more complicated with that. So again, having the wisdom to know that we are not seeing things clearly, yeah, on Sunday, and also things will change from that day. So we'll think we see things clearly on one day, and then our perception is going to change the next day. Okay, so the next transit that we have is Monday, October 11th, and things are getting real, okay? Things are getting real that day because Saturn is going direct at around 10:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Saturn is the planet of tough love and the hard knocks of life. And he's coming back from vacay. He's coming back from vacation. So he was retrograde since May 23rd. And Saturn goes retrograde, goes on vacation. For a hardworking planet, goes on vacation quite a bit. About every year, stays there about 45 months, 45 months. stays there for about 4 to 5 months. And I guess, there is the saying Saturn rewards hard work. So that's why Saturn's going on vacation, right? Saturn, if you don't know, is a planet all about like staying in the bounds of what we think is safe, right? Staying within the lines of our comfort zone. There's a way to do things a safe and secure way. And is like concerned about it's like a concern about protecting ourselves when Saturn is involved. So Saturn can go, like when it goes direct, it can translate into like stricter rules, safety, restriction. We're concerned about safety, like, and this is the way I do things, like don't mess with it, very fixed. So in Aquarius, right, Saturn traditionally rules Aquarius. Saturn sets rules like differently than like in the physical environment, like the way we would cook or clean, like in a physical like Capricorn, or with the way we work. Saturn in Aquarius is more, it's an air sign, so it's about communication, and they set boundaries. Aquarius sets boundaries by telling people what we think and we believe. So with Aquariuses, you know exactly where they stand because they're going to tell you exactly what they think. Even the quiet ones, when you really, draw them out, And so Aquarians or Aquarius energy, excuse me, can be like this cutting energy with words, like cuts you off, because they're setting a boundary with communication of where they stand. And so Aquarius, like Saturn in Aquarius, generally will relate to like our relationships with people, being an air sign, also ideas and groups, like kind of this collective communication, how we all operate and communicate what we believe as a group, right? All together. So with Saturn in Aquarius, we may be more harsh with others and what we say to get our point across. And there's a possibility of polarizing people with opinions, right? And then feeling like we're an outcast or feeling like people don't understand us, right? But, right, we're not necessarily, with this energy and this influence, we're not necessarily trying to be abrasive. We're just trying to protect ourselves and our freedom to think for ourselves. And so Aquarius wants to protect their freedom again through their thought, but here's the silver lining. They'll value others for expressing their thoughts and will give other people the freedom to express their thoughts. Now, they might not agree and they're going to tell you that, but they respect you for being honest and telling what you think. And so if we do have respect for what other people think and that they have the freedom to think what they want to think and we have the freedom to think and say what we want to, I think we'll have an easier time with this Saturn and Aquarius energy. Let me see what the card is. I'm going to pull a card. I was neglecting my tarot cards before in these transits. Pull a card for this energy. Okay, to give is to receive. We have the Six of Pentacles. And there's this element of justice. So with communication, like there's an element of like true justice is we have the freedom to say what we want and other people also have the freedom to give us what we want. And that the beauty in society is that free exchange of communication, because this Six of Pentacles is all about the exchange. So I'm going to look at the cards, see what else I get from this. Yeah, so I think on Monday, we're going to give people a piece of our mind. I'm seeing like these breadcrumbs like fall out, right? We're going to be giving people a piece of our mind and saying what we think. But that is like our contribution to other people, is to really let people know where we stand, right? And some people may feel left out in the cold. Some people might not like our opinions, but to have a society that's solid, people need to feel like they have freedom and that they can express themselves. And we have freedom and security in what we think, right? Nobody can change what we think. And so we just have to also remember to even bring in an element of kindness to that, because we can be kind of, again, harsh and abrasive with this energy. We have to bring in like this blue, this energy of compassion when giving people a piece of our minds. But there's beauty in being able to do that and to express ourselves and express what we're passionate about, and remember the ability to grow, these green boots. Remember that saying what we think and really expressing ourselves can give us a solid foundation to grow, and also hearing hearing other people's perspectives and stepping out of like what we think is necessarily the right way to think can help us to grow as a person and as a society and a community. Okay, so for Tuesday, October 12th, so I think that Saturn and Aquarius energy, it might be a little harsh, might be a little prickly. So the energy is still going to be prickly like in the beginning of this week because we're going to have the first quarter moon in Capricorn, another Saturn ruled sign. And that moon is going to be really close to Pluto. And remember that the first quarter moon, we're going to face a conflict that we have been like, put it under the carpet, dusted under the carpet, but the universe is like, no, you're going to have to deal with that. And the first quarter moon is the time to deal with that. And so if we embrace it, we go with the energy, we embrace it, we're going to have an easier time. So we basically on Tuesday, I think we may really want power over our physical environment and really feel protective of our stuff. So that's anywhere from feeling protective of our personal items, money, finances, our job, our living space, our home, even our family, right? People close to us, children, parents, spouse, really protective. And we want to protect our environment and our stuff and have control over it. And so the conflict there, right? The conflict represented in the first quarter moon is where the sun is versus where the moon is. It creates a square, like a Mars-like conflict. So the conflict with the sun and Libra energy, and that sun is conjunct Mars, is that Libra wants to create a pleasant, harmonious environment. It's Venus ruled. It wants things to be nice and beautiful and pleasant and pleasurable. So it wants to create those, again, pleasant, harmonious relationships with everyone, and is willing to look past like what they want personally, right? So there's a conflict with looking past what we want personally to smooth things over and make them harmonious. Because Venus really desires harmony. That's what she really wants. And Saturn, who is going to rule that Capricorn moon, really wants safety and comfort, doesn't really care what other people want. Capricorn is like, I want what I want, and if you love me and if you care about me, you're going to give me what I want and make me feel secure. All right, so there's a conflict between keeping what's yours really close to you and protecting yourself versus letting go and being open with others, and a conflict between like compromising on ways to do things and giving ourselves in a way that's generous and thinks of what other people might need. We may not want that. We may want power over the situation, especially with Pluto there. And I find with Pluto, like whenever there's a Pluto transit, you might also desire to have power over other people, like sexually. There's always, every time there's a Pluto transit, I feel like this sexual energy, like I want to dominate like my husband, like in the bedroom. So it may not be that exactly, like your relationships like may be different, but there might be this like sexual desire and energy too, wanting to feel secure in our relationships, but in a way that's really possessive of other people. Oh, okay, this card popped out for that transit, and definitely this is a feeling of possessiveness type of card. So we have the King of Wands here, and so we may have an issue or a conflict specifically like with a male energy, where we want to dominate, or we might see this reflected because it's collective in the media, the news, like our leaders. So it could be a boss, it could be like a political figure or celebrity, it could be our spouse or even fathers, like this male energy. And so like a conflict where it's like a battle of wills, and like that person is kind of like cranky, abrasive, like wants to start a fight, like and also, maybe this energy of that person is really burnt out and maybe not able to give us all that they need, and they're not able to provide for us. They're kind of spent. And so we're not feeling like nurtured by them, and we're not feeling secure from them. And so we want that. And that's where the conflict is. Like, how do I attend to their needs and understand and like help like work through that and be there for them and be nurturing for them, or understanding of them, and create harmony, versus like, I want what I want, I need what I need, and I want you to give it to me, and I don't really care what you're going through. We need to consider my feelings too. So the conflict might be surrounding that, and being really like worried about like the security of our foundations, really feeling insecure as far as like where we stand, with just like having like physical security, really having somebody, even physical security can be like like commitments as well, and just feeling like you don't have that, where you're feeling like lost and um, kind of like, I don't know, things are too loose. Like we need to tighten things up. And so that same day, we're also going to have a Venus sextile Saturn. So I think we actually will end up finding harmony. So remember these transits, even though they're a specific day, you may feel them like a day or two before and the energy a little bit after. But Venus sextile Saturn, I think, is going to help us like smooth out that conflict for the first quarter moon. And that conflict may like really feel intense again with Pluto there. And the moon is in detriment in Capricorn, meaning that the moon is usually like this nurturing energy that's really giving and attuned to people's emotions and needs. But with Capricorn, like I said, it's a different type of nurturing. It's like, give me what I want, and I want things to be stable and secure, and I want to know we're going to be doing things the same way all the time. But okay, Venus sextile Saturn, it's going to happen at 3:46 Eastern Standard Time. So the sextile itself is in the nature of Venus, creating harmony and smoothing things out in a way that makes them beautiful and pleasant. So Venus is in Sagittarius itself, and it's like giving a flavor of creating harmony through spontaneity, fun, seeing wisdom in spirit, in experiences, seeing connections and things, like these beautiful, intricate connections of how life connects, and connecting with people. Sagittarius also tends to be a pretty social sign, and likes to like feel the energy of people around them. But this Venus, so interesting thing though, this Venus in Sagittarius, when it moves into that sextile with Saturn, it's moving out of the conjunction with the South Node, but so it might not still be super in touch with reality and may want to escape, but it might help with that harsh energy of the moon, because Saturn in Aquarius, that's making this sextile to Venus, is hosting that Capricorn moon, and it's going to be in that anaretic degree of Capricorn, meaning that Capricorn moon is going to be super intense, and that other like testimony to that is the Pluto with it. So Monday, Tuesday may be pretty intense, like with this conflict and really fighting for like security versus trying to consider other people's needs. Yeah, so that's going to help, I think, like in that. So even though the moon is strongly wanting that physical security, Saturn in Aquarius does care about other people, and it's hosting that moon. And so like Saturn in Aquarius like cares about like what's best for a group or society as a whole. And so Saturn in Aquarius may like have more of the perspective of, that we're always secure, in that we're always secure to think what we want to think and think freely and allow others to do the same. So that freedom is more how we feel and how we think about things. And there's also security in taking care of our communities, being generous to other people. So thinking about this Six of Pentacles that I pulled before, like generosity, so that we can all work together as a group. And Saturn in Aquarius tends to be super generous with people. What they're protective of is their thoughts, and their ideas being able to be expressed fully. They want to be able to make sure that they can think what they want and express themselves freely. So just going to pull a card for that day just to get more clarity on this transit and insights. Nice. So we have the Six of Cups, and like, I like this energy for that day. So the energy might be intense, but it's going to be an energy that helps us to really experience life fully, and really understand the meaning in life, that the intensity of life helps us to live it more fully and actually enjoy it more fully and have like this full experience of life. But we may get carried away in wanting to hold on to the past and wanting to hold on to things that we felt were sacred from the past and not wanting to move on. So getting stuck in a moment but needing to move on to that, because the Six of Cups can also represent not wanting to move on to that. And the Six of Cups is really asking us to walk away and to let go of the familiar so that we can have the new security. So what's standing out to me is this guy in the background walking towards the buildings and how secure those buildings are. And also the security of the soul, like this yellow in this card is standing out to me, that we'll have security if we let go and walk away from trying to protect what's ours. We just have to see that, and we just have to be willing to do that, and that will help us to move past whatever conflict that we're facing. All right, so next we have Friday, October 15th. We have beautiful energy, like we're going to end the week with a lot of beautiful energy here. So we have the sun trine Jupiter at around 7:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so what this means is I think that we're going to be passing out of that first quarter moon conflict in a way that does leave us feeling more generous with other people and environment, and also like feeling helped by this King of Wands energy, like this male or masculine energy. We're going to feel like a support from that energy, and I think that is going to come from if we're able to like let go. And I think that Sun trine Jupiter is really going to give us that feeling of letting go, because the trine itself is more Jupiter energy, and you can think of Sagittarius and even Pisces of like just, you know, like being able to move past things quickly and not hold on to things so much, especially Sagittarius. So Sun trine Jupiter, let's break this down. So the sun in Libra specifically represents taking action in a way that like finds a really nice solution for everyone. And so there may be a focus again on our relationships, negotiations, also legal matters. Libra does talk a lot about legal matters and contracts. And Jupiter, so it's trining Jupiter. Jupiter in Aquarius represents wisdom, seeing a connection between everyone and everything. That's Jupiter, unity. And in Aquarius, so that unity and the wisdom and the connections when it comes to our freedom to think as we wish and to come up with ideas that are out of the box that we haven't thought of before, and contribute to the world in a way that no one's really thought of before. People have a lot of ideas, but then it's like, there we go. And feeling that support from the Sun trine Jupiter. And it's like a really social energy. It's like, you know, we might be going to events or parties or social event or get together with friends, or even have communication like text, phone calls from people, because it's in two air signs, Libra and Aquarius. It tends to be more social and more communicating a lot, talking a lot. Also, we have the moon that day conjuncting Jupiter. So yeah, oh my gosh, we're going to feel so good, I feel like, that day. Because the moon, again, when it's near planets, it really amplifies that energy, but it's going to be amplifying Jupiter. And then Jupiter is hosting Venus. So it's really amplifying this like feel good energy where we feel connected to everyone and everything. And we just feel so, I don't know, just so good, and so, like just so connected to everyone, and we feel the love and we feel the connection, and we just feel it like through our bodies and through everyone, and so in sync with everyone. So air signs tend to be very in sync with everyone, can really tune into what people are thinking. And like when you're taking action, we might have these circumstances on Friday where we take an action in some way for a person, or we do something, or we say something, and the people near us were like, I was just thinking that. That's so crazy, feeling so connected to other people. And supported. That's the word I was looking for. Feeling very supported, right? Which is what we were wanting earlier in that week. So again, Mercury is still retrograde, so this is a beautiful time to reflect on this energy, dream, and think about how you want to bring this beautiful energy into the future. Like, what is the wisdom, the takeaway from experiencing this really beautiful Sun trine Jupiter energy? I'm just going to pull a card to reflect on that. Have a card jumping right out. And we have the Eight of Wands beautifully. So this card does represent like messages from people that we're going to get, like synchronous, like we're going to know what to do at the right time that day. Like things are going to feel very in sync. Like we get a message at just the perfect time to do just the perfect thing. Like we're all in sync with each other and the way that we communicate with each other, but also feeling like this inspired communication that something bigger than us is helping us come together and really like just having faith in people, but having faith that there's like a bigger force, like that the universe is like connecting us all together that day. And it's really this fertile energy of growth, of healing. It's going to be a very healing energy, and very like soothing emotionally for us as well. It's like this healing balm that we've really been needing for a long time. So we have Mercury retrograde sextile Venus. So this transit is happening Saturday, October 16th at 9:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it strikes me as seeing the value in our experience, right? So we have Mercury in Libra, Venus in Sagittarius, wisdom in our experience, wisdom in our communication. And so reflecting on how we can use what we've learned from our possible spontaneous and escapist adventures earlier in the week and our conflicts, right? Our arguments, our fights, that can be fertile grounds for wisdom and learning. And so, like, how can we implement the wisdom from those very real, like, lived experiences and integrate that into our relationship with others? How can we create more justice for others, like things that work for everyone? And even with legal matters or friendships, conflicts, can our misfortunes and mistakes, like that chaos, like from that first quarter moon, or even escaping from the world and doing something wild, can they teach us something important about our relationship to others, and to ourselves, right? And so it's interesting too, because we have Sun square Pluto the next day, kind of almost, I feel like it's like just asking us again, can we sacrifice our personal desires, wants, and needs? Like, if that action is going to lead to more harmony and peace and justice in the world, can we sacrifice the personal? Are we willing to put away our desire for power and protection and safety? Can we sacrifice like our personal selves, like our ego, kind of like our personal self, like meaning like all of our like stuff. I'm not talking about letting go of, you can't let go of your soul, your spirit, like your human spirit, like that's going to be there, but just like our personal wants and needs, can we let that go? In the name of love, in the name of like letting the universe guide us on what we need to do, and like creating more harmony in the world. And then also realizing that we have security if like we're willing to let go of our like desire for power over other people, or of getting what we want. So I'm going to pull a card to get some clarity for this. And so it's that Mercury sextile Venus, but again, that Sun square Pluto is going to come in the next day. So we might feel that energy coming in for us. And so like the whole week is this energy of like wanting to protect ourselves, wanting to have power, but then also knowing that it's like really messing up our relationships like with other people. Like if we're all about ourselves, it's hard to smooth out conflicts with other people because we don't really care. What do we want? Like we want things for ourselves. And we also have to consider like we're always in relationship with other people, even if you're a single person, like you go out into the world and society. So let's see. Oh, okay, this goes in with what I said. So this is Seven of Cups type energy. I love this, right? So this is the type of energy that does ask us if we can let go of our personal desires and our personal wants and needs, and transform them in a way that creates this powerful harmony. But the interesting thing about the Seven of Cups, which represents like Venus and Scorpio, which we just got out of that energy, but that energy is like still kind of lingering here, in that you know, sometimes we want to transform our desires to create harmony, but we still want that power. Yeah, we still think like we still think like power is truth sometimes, that like we're transforming ourselves, like we're on a spiritual journey, or we're trying to do things for other people to show them, like, just because we think like this is the way we express, like I'm going to help people and then they're going to love me back, right? I'm going to get something back, and I'm going to transform this relationship. But we miss the fact that it's like about, it can be, have a tendency to be about control. And, you know, this is something I'm relating to, you know, I see in other people, but I can relate to personally, that I do a lot. Like for my husband and my kids, I take care of them, but I expect a lot back, right? I expect some acknowledgement or appreciation, or just for them to listen and do what I ask them to do, because I think I know what's best, but I don't know what's best. Like, I'm not God. Like, you know, we can think that we're God. We can think that, that we have the ultimate authority and that we really know like what's best for everyone. That's not true. Like my perspective is, we don't even know what we're doing here. Like, we're in this illusion of life. We don't have this clear communication and connection to God and the soul. It's covered, right? That's what this high priestess and moon energy is all about. That like God is covered up, like with our bodies and our minds and our experience in life. And that is a holy experience, right? The high priestess experience is very holy. The illusion itself is very holy, because it's also finding our way back to God, right? To the universe, to that universal life consciousness, that's really beyond words. Like, you know, I use all kinds of words to describe it. And yeah, we can really cause ourselves a lot of pain with, you know, it's like we can think we have victory in a fight over somebody. We can think we've won a fight. We can make the best argument and think like we've really won and we made our points and we dominate that other person. But then we're not really getting what we want. That isn't peace and harmony. That isn't justice. And, you know, it's like it creates a lot of pain, and it's kind of like it separates us like from God. It separates us from that light, in the universe. Like that, it separates us from the truth, right? Um, and so we can get lost in that. We can get lost in our personal wants and needs. And can we set that desire aside, and even set aside like not setting it aside where like I denounce like all of these like material pleasures and things. Um, you know, because that can also be tricky too in the Seven of Cups, like giving up our desires and our wants and our needs. Like we think we're being super spiritual and super holy, especially like we have the South Node this week, earlier in this week, and we can think like we're really like on this path to God, right? Or on this path to enlightenment, and to nirvana. But even that in itself, if we're doing it to attain something, like if we're doing our practices to attain like a higher state, or to evolve spiritually, or to yeah, like reach the state of enlightenment itself, like that is also holding on to material desires. That's what that South Node transit was all about. um so we just have to do things for the love of doing it, right? At the end of the day, we're being called to just do things the love of it. So I'm going to pull some cards for the week, just to summarize the energy of the week. Like, what are we getting from that? Magician, busy energy, thinking on our feet, creating. So the magician energy, like we're making major changes, and thinking about how we want to do things. Like how we want to have power and control over our environment. Some people may not relate to that word. So it's like, how are we doing things? Like, how are we creating things and creating life? And can we have a little bit of fun with this? The magician is always asking us, can we have a little fun with this? Can we create a little magic? So this is all about like this week, like just figuring out like how we're doing things, maybe a busy energy, maybe this energy like where we're called to do a lot, because the magician energy can be very busy and go, go, go. We're really going to be challenged, again, to think on our feet. Think on our feet is an energy or a thought, like a phrase that's coming up. Think on our feet on how we want to create life. Okay. And we also have temperance. Cool, cool. Because it's like, This is very Mercury and this is very Jupiter. So we're going to have a lot of Mercury, Jupiter energy. So this is the advice for the week, temperance. I love that. It represents Sagittarius. We have a lot of Sagittarian energy. Yeah, so everything takes balance. Yeah, everything takes balance. Like to be nurtured, to really feel um, like we can be, I don't know, it's like getting this energy of wanting to be clear and free and breathe a little bit, wanting things to be clearer, needing some renewal and some revival and some refreshing. I'm seeing this like foot dip into the water. And it's almost like we want that energy. I'm getting that energy of like jumping into a pool and feeling so refreshed and feeling renewed, almost kind of thinking of like baptism, right? Like feeling renewed, like new life, like feeling like we need this breath of new life and this new spark, this new, like this power, like we need some life to be sparked back into us and some excitement and some inspiration and just like something to bring us to life, like bring that kundalini like spark and some passion. We need some passion in our lives, right? And so temperance is telling us that it all takes balance. And also like I'm feeling like the third eye is really getting highlighted in this card of really focusing on like our higher mind and higher perspective. If we can soar above ourselves and see what was going on and step outside of ourselves and just watch and be aware of what's going on, how would we approach it? What would we say? And that's like the energy of what we need to be doing. And that we're always balancing things. Like life is a balance, back and forth. But just taking a little bit of that, a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of info and truth from this and that, and reflecting from a higher perspective on our experiences can really help us and really be the foundation of our experiences. So the final outcome for this week, I'm going to pull a card for that and see what's popping. Oh, I like this. Like this. This represents Aquarius too. Major changes going on this week. We have 3 major arcana cards coming up this week. So we have the Star reversed as the final outcome. Seeing what we're getting like from this card. So yes, okay. So what I'm getting from this card is that we're going to have wisdom. The final outcome is having wisdom from our 5 senses. We're going to get down and dirty. There's going to be a little trickster energy. Mercury, the magician, he's the trickster. So we are going to have conflicts, but you know, if we embrace the conflict, we might have a little fun because we're going to have wisdom. And new life like from our experiences and getting down and dirty like through our physical experiences. Like I'm feeling like the 5 senses. We have the water coming down in the star card from the 5 senses, and reversed I'm seeing this water like drip down to us. So sometimes, right, the star upright can mean like having hope, but it's like on this mental level and really thinking things through. So the energy is like, you know, reverse. I'm just seeing like, it's not blocked in the way, you know, of that we're not going to have like, it's still going to create hope. Like we're still going to have hope from, that's the thing. We're going to have hope from this week in the first place. Let me just state that like, this is a week that's going to give us a new hope. So there's a major shift and a major change with having hope moving forward and really feeling optimistic and hopeful after this week. But it's from our experiences, like I said, from getting down and dirty, from getting our hands dirty. Mercury is like to telling me like getting our hands dirty in life, like having those arguments, having those fights, maybe having these experiences like, you know, maybe we do go out and have a wild night. Maybe we do have a loud argument. Maybe we do go to a night and then ends the week with a really fun party or something. But these experiences help us to think of things in a different way. We have this bird of the mind there. It's going to really help us to step outside of ourselves and think of a different way. So really be present with your experience. Don't try to block the experience. Step into it. So all of these 3 cards, I feel like the magician, temperance especially, and then with the star reversed, let's hold these cards up for you. It's asking us to really value our experiences, really get into it, and really like the Mercury energy. It's like we're gonna get into a lot of we might get into a lot of trouble or a lot of tricky situations that we have to think ourselves out of. Is what I'm getting. And then Temperance takes those experiences and finds truth from them and learns from them, and has alchemy. So Temperance is the card of alchemy. So we're going to alchemize these challenges and experiences and even mischievous things that we get ourselves into, and we're going to transform them. We're going to have alchemy, and then we're going to have new hope from getting down and dirty into our experiences, and really embracing them, not trying to say an experience is right or wrong, but just being fully present and fully mindful in every experience this week, everything that happens, even the things that you don't want to admit to people that happened, being really deeply immersed in that experience and valuing it, getting wisdom, and then ending up thinking about things in different ways and thinking about it in a way that gives you hope. So I think this is a big shift for a lot of people. If we have been feeling hopeless, or we have been thinking like, how can we do, even if it's like the optimistic of how can we do things in a different way? Like, how can we even get our community together in different ways that works for people, or create some I don't know, new life into our relationship, even though it's solid. Being able to think about things in a different way that's super optimistic and hopeful, and just makes us feel amazing. Hey guys, that's all I have for you. So I hope you enjoyed this weekly tarot and astrology forecast. I do this every Sunday. So if you liked it, make sure to subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified, because I do this every Sunday. And I'm also doing cards on the tarot and the secret symbolism in there, and tying it into the astrology with tarot cards. I'm teaching each card, and I'm almost through them all. And I'm halfway through the minor arcana, and I'm going through the swords now. I just did the wand. I just did the cups and then the wands before that. So again, if you want my videos, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified. Or you could also go to my mailing list, valentinelister.com. And I'll also put some videos I think you might like. And love you guys. Hope you have a great week. I hope it's fun. Love you. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for whenever I release a new video every single week.